Hello everyone and welcome to the ALO Gaming channel to Let's Make a Sci-Fi RPG Part 6. In the last episode we got some cool stuff done, I hope. What did we do? I'd have to watch it again to see. We saw the enemies, we were having issues with the enemies shooting. We got to see that they had a patrol thing there, and I messed up their firing point, so that didn't get to work. And then they weren't following the player, so there was a couple of issues that need to be resolved. I'd like to say I resolved them in this video, and I might. I might not. Who knows? I know, because I had a quick look at this video just to see what was in it, and I can tell you now, if we thought there were problems in the last video, there's problems in this one. And let's find out what those problems are. What am I doing here? So I'm looking at the walls. Yes, I'm making sure I have enable GPU instance on for all of these materials, so that will save processing power, so that should help with the frames. We did see that I was getting better frames in the last video than I have been previously, so that's kind of cool. But I just want to make sure that every material in the scene that can be have enabled GPU instancing on does. I think that you can only do it with stationary objects or objects that the light isn't going to change on. So like I probably couldn't have it on a player, because if it moves through lighting then it's going to be different. I think that's how it works. Not entirely sure. If anybody knows, if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments below, happily. I'm always happy to learn new things, and I can admit when I'm wrong, and I can admit when I don't know stuff, and I don't know that. 100%. I think that's what it is. And I might look it up. Just to be sure, you know? These aren't tutorials, but I don't want to be giving people wrong information, because that would be bold. And I don't want to be bold. So we're just gonna go through all this. We're gonna play it and see what my frame rate's like. So we'll just drag my game screen over from my second monitor. Yeah. Sometimes Unity takes a while. It's still not playing. That's need that to turn blue. Playing will start. So I hope you're all keeping well and safe and distant, but mostly like physically healthy and mentally healthy, because it's a very difficult time, and I know that things are tough. People are getting a little bit cabin fevery and isolated and alone. So just make sure you're looking after yourselves, because that's important. And if you are, trying to keep busy, but you're kind of going, well, what can I do? What can I do? Well, that's what I'm here for. I make content that you can just sit and watch, and we can laugh and cry together when, things go right, things go wrong. Just spend a bit of time having a bit of fun. That's my job. So he's running. We're not actually seeing the game view. But here we are. Now we're seeing the game view. 60 frames. So I'm just looking around at all the different objects so all these textures should be GPU instanced. 40 frames, 25. So there's a bit of a drop when I get to the door. But I was going to say it seems to be fairly solid around 50-ish. There's a bit of a drop there, so just having a quick look to see. It's not bad, not the worst. I guess that was just a quick check of that. So that worked. What are we going to do? Just turn that off. So that's one way to kind of improve the performance of your game and increase the frames. Am I opening Visual Studios? I am opening Visual Studios. Oh, this takes ages. Come on. There we go. Character control player. What am I going to do next? Exciting. We will. Ooh, we'll see. It's I'm not doing anything right now. So what am I doing? Oh, did I come here to? I just looked. I looked at the script. Has weapon is true, and you click. So I'm looking at this. Otherwise, you're not playing. So I guess I'm going to be testing the laser. Yeah. Yep. What am I doing? Okay. See, there's a lot of stuff in this character. This was brought in directly from Mudbox. It's very high poly. I am working on creating a different player character because I dropped him in here as a placeholder for the prototype, and I wasn't hugely familiar with the workflow between Mudbox and bringing characters into Unity, and I never really took into account just how high poly this model was. It's a 7 or 8 million polygons, so it's a bit too big. But also, I never retopologized it or made a mesh of it. I just kind of took it from Mudbox and brought it into Maya just to rig it, and then brought it into Unity. So I never messed with the mesh or did anything else. So that was foolish. But I have started working on the player 2.0. So I've modeled it, I've sculpted it in Mudbox, and then I need to bring it into Maya and do the rigging and the UV unwrapping and that kind of stuff. So that will be, I have recorded it, so that will be in an upcoming video for your viewing pleasure. And it goes a lot better than my very first attempt at Mudbox. If you've watched Mudbox Mayhem, you will see that it did not go well for me. But so pretty practice, I'm learning. It's still not perfect, but for a beginner, it's fine. So we're gonna play the game. I assume I'm wanting to test the player shooting because that's the bit of the script I was looking at. So, are we gonna bring the game screen on so I can look at it, or are we just gonna? Here we go. Gonna have a look. Still getting 50 frames per second, so that's cool. We've got our enemies doing their patrol, so that's working. We're going to go in and pick up a weapon, which switches to a new animation. So he's now got the armed animation. I'm going to shoot. And if we just skip ahead a little bit, we can see that Unity has crashed, or is frozen. So that's not ideal. So we're going to restart Unity. See what I mean about problems? We're going to restart Unity, which takes an age. And we're going to go back in here. I mean, the code should be working. Input, next fire. So we're doing player laser.play. So this commented out shot effect thing, that was instantiating the bullet, I believe, and now I've got an actual laser particle effect that I'm using instead. We're just gonna comment out the player fire. So because when I tried to fire, that's when it crashed. That's when it froze. So just going through the code to make sure that's not a problem with the script. And we're just going to take everything to do with firing the player, comment it out so that the script doesn't reference it, and try to run it. And I think we're just going to, we're going to create another script. I think I know what I'm doing. Player fire, yeah. So I spoke about this in a previous video that on some of the online courses that I have been working through, it has been said that it's a good idea to separate out your scripts. So just have one script to deal with one thing. So one script for player health, one script for player shooting, one script for player move, and just have all those different scripts on the player instead of, say, having one script that does everything. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to take all the firing script out of the player script and put it into this player fire script. It's also easier to find bugs and problems and debug your scripts that way. If you don't have one massive script to go through, you can just go, okay, well, I know that the movement is working, so this issue is not the movement script. But I've been working on the player fire script, and now suddenly Unity is crashing, so it could be a problem with that. So rather than having to go through a massive player script, you just go to the player fire script and have a look at that and see if you can find out what's causing the problems. So we're going to do public game objects. So we can do laser effect. I mean, I could have just copied and pasted these over from the other script, really, couldn't I? That would have been smart. Oh, if only. And then on the update, I say if you press the left mouse button, get key code dot. Why is this taking me so long? Keycode.mouse0. I have this script written already, so I don't know why I'm faffing about this time. Come on. They're the wrong brackets. It happens. Slip of the finger. Instantiate the laser effect. Where? Game object dot transform dot position and game object dot transform dot rotation, because we do want to take into account the rotation of the game object because we want it to go forward, like the players forward, not the game objects forward, which might be different if you just instantiate it without the player's rotation taken into account. And if you release the mouse button, that's when you stop shooting. This is a little bit I don't know how this is going to work. This code. It's well, if it's only going to instantiate one object, which is a laser effect, and that effect is on loop, that might not be an issue. My worry would be that you'd hold down the left mouse button and it would just instantiate loads and loads and loads of them. So we're gonna just wait for the scripts to compile. Wait for the scripts to compile, and then we're gonna create an empty game object under the player laser particle emitter, well, above it really, and this is going to be called laser holder. Okay, so then we're going to put in the whole laser system into the laser holder, and we're gonna pop on the player fire script, which now needs a laser effect object. So we're going to take the laser holder and put that in there. Play on awake, yeah. So as soon as it's instantiated, it will start firing, and then we're going to bring the game, yeah, so that we can see what we're doing. And then we're going to click play and just skip ahead to the. Okay, so he's shooting. It's gone a little bit off center, but this is the laser effect that I have. You can see when it hits something, it kind of I don't even know what you'd call it, pew pews. Disintegrate sparksy sparks. And oh no, oh yes. Unity has frozen on me again. So we're going to force close it and reopen it. This video is mostly just Unity crashing on me, I think, and then taking an age to reopen. And I don't. I say I don't know why. I actually think I figured out what the problem was. Whether I did that while recording or not remains to be seen. So we're just checking, trying to see what's taking up most of my usage. Anything that I can just get rid of that I don't need on. But anyway, that's not the issue. That's not the issue that I'm having. But the laser effect works. It fires, it collides with stuff, and it fires off a sublimator when it collides, so you got the little sparks, which I think is kind of cool. And that was made using the original particle system, so it's not using the VFX graph, because, as I've said it before, VFX graph does not calculate collisions, as far as I know, unless they have updated it since it came out. But that was one of the things when it came out, was that because it's using the GPU instead of the CPU, then you can't calculate collisions with it. So you couldn't really use it for, well, I'd say that's the thing, like maybe you could use it for the, like a laser gun effect, and possibly use a raycast to say when you need to destroy the laser effect so that it looks like it's colliding with something. There might be ways around it, I don't know. So we're taking in an enemy controller. I think, what are we gonna do? Fire warp. Even though I've called this player fire, I think I'm gonna just put this onto the enemies as well, and then be like, just shoot. If the player comes in range, shoot. So if enemy controller dot, yeah, it's probably a variable that I've not made public if I'm looking for something. Come on, Visual Studios. I'm gonna look through all of these. I'm looking for I don't even know what one I'm looking for. I'm so confused. So it's not the enemy controller I want. What is it then? Oh, character control player. Of course. Because it's going onto the player. 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 So then we're gonna try and call something from here. Car control player dot has weapon, I would assume, but then that might be a private bool because I didn't need it to be. Although no, it should have been a public bool because I tested it by ticking it on the inspector, I believe. Where are we at? Character control player has weapon, public static. Yes. This is where it gets confusing, and I don't know if I can explain this properly. You might have seen in previous videos that I made public static bools that I was then calling from other scripts. So I think I did it for the conduit count and that kind of stuff. So the level controller was accessing the conduit script to see if it had been picked up or not. And I was just making public static bools and then referencing them in the other script. I've been told that was a bad idea, and the better way to do it is to like declare the scripted object here. So this is actually the name of the script. Car control player is the name of the script. So you're saying a public script that you then name yourself, and then you drag and drop the object that has this script onto whatever object has this script. This is very confusing. In the inspector, and then you can actually just call any public variables or any public functions within that script using this whatever you named it. Apparently, it's better than using this static stuff. I can't remember why, but I was told maybe it was a performance thing. I don't know. But if the character control player that has weapon is true, and then you press the mouse button, then you'll start shooting. And then on update, we can just call this fire weapon function rather than having. I'm changing that to late update, am I? I heard that's better for physics stuff, and collisions is physics. I did not, did I? I did. Let's just go back for 2 seconds. Yeah, I deleted the update function entirely. So then where am I going to call the player fire script? Oh, Ayla, you idiot. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. What am I going to do next? We're going to go to the player script. So you can see it's got a laser effect. That's fine. We didn't change that. We just changed how it shoots. I know it won't shoot because I deleted the update function where we call the fire weapon. So, technically nothing should happen. I don't know why I did it, okay? Maybe this was a long day. Some of these videos that I'm recording, like these past videos that we're both currently watching, would have been recorded very late at night. So I could have been very tired. This could have been done at like 2 or 3 a.m. and I was just exhausted and making silly mistakes. Oh, yeah. Don't go back into the script and then go out of it without noticing the problem. Weapon. Oh yeah, this is the other thing. Because I use public static bools, and this is the thing, right? This is where you start to see issues with scripts interacting with each other. And this is why I like to use serialized fields and private variables as much as possible. Not only so that I can mess with the variables in the inspector and keep as much private as I can so that other scripts can't interact with it, but also because I was using the public static stuff across multiple scripts, and then I changed it to calling the actual object, scripted object, or the actual script itself. Oh, so confusing. I know in my head what I'm trying to say, and as I'm saying it, I can feel it not making sense. So I apologize if you can't follow along. Because I changed the static bool to just a public bool, now suddenly every script that was trying to access the public static bool is going to throw up an error, and it's going to be a compiler error, so it's not going to compile properly. I'm not going to be able to test the game. I have got to go through every single script that was accessing the has weapon bool in the player, and then change them so that they're no longer trying to call the public static bool, but then they're actually going to get the character control player. So I've got to put this in every script that's trying to access this bool. I hope that made sense. And again, the more scripts you have, so I'm just going to... Yeah, I thought the easiest way to fix the problem would just be to turn it back into a static bool, but then that threw up other issues that I couldn't call it this way. Oh, jeez, the issues you have. What a fucking nightmare. All I did was delete one word, and about 3 or 4 scripts ended up just going, nope, not having that. But, this is how we learn. Trial by fire. I think I had issues with public static bools anyway, where they didn't always work the way I thought they would. So I think that's also why it's better to declare your scripts here and call them and access a script that way rather than just trying to call a static bool. Also, let's say, because you might have various scripts that have variables with the same name. Like you'd have a health variable for your enemy and a health variable for your player. So unless you call it player health and player enemy, if you were to just call it health in both of them, and then you were for some reason trying to access that from a different script, so you had like public static float health, and you were trying to call health from something else, you might get some issues there with, it might start affecting the enemy's health as well. Possibly. I've heard of it, like things where scripts interact in ways that were unexpected. So I'm in the weapon pickup script, and I'm gonna have to reference the character control player. I don't think I need the player fire script, but I'm putting it in there just in case. Hands weapon is true. Yeah, the player fire doesn't have a bool in it. It doesn't need that because it accesses it here. I got confused. This thing is all confused. I'm making stupid changes. I mean, good changes, It's causing stupid errors. Where else might there be a... I've got a trend. Yeah, so you can't have that as static if you want to. Okay, and then the weapon pickup. Character control player that has weapon is... Oh yeah, because I've got to use this name. Car control player, not this name. Don't ask me why. I don't know. If you know why, tell me, but I don't know. It's just the way you got to do it. Otherwise, Unity goes, nope. Computer says no. So if character control player dot has weapon is equal to true, and that should work. It should work. Character control player. That's the name. That's what I've called it. There we go. Okay. So that should get rid of a lot of the errors that I was having, I hope. I think. I don't know. And now we can test it and see if I go into Unity and play the game. So the weapons should be able to pick up. The weapon pickup script should be able to access the player and then set the player's boolean of having a weapon to true, so that the player then plays the animation of being armed instead of an object reference is required for the non-static field method or property character player that has weapon. That is in the level controller script. So even the level controller script was also trying to so I just got to change that to a small c. I made that mistake there as well, and that should fix that error. That's the good thing about Unity, is that these console errors, they tell you what script it's in, and they even tell you what line. So, and then they tell you what the issue is. So it does make it a little bit easier. And you just don't want like loads of them popping up. And I think I'm just, so all the errors are gone once the script's recompiled. That's good. I'm just moving around the scene. I do like the lighting effects. Lighting just makes it so much better. I'll be interested to see what it looks like when it's finished, if I ever get it finished. I fucking have to get it finished. It's due soon. Should actually be doing work rather than this, but hey. So we are gonna just take a quick look, and we're gonna test this again. So we're gonna see, can the player shoot? Does he stop shooting when you release the mouse button? So we're just gonna try and implement that and see. So he's picked up the weapon, he's not holding the weapon, so it hasn't actually set the bool to true, so this is still turned off. Because the weapon is always there, something you may not know. It's just set as not active, and then when you change the bool to has weapon to true, it sets those game objects to active, so it looks like the player is taking the weapon, and it just turns the other one off. So you're not actually. I mean, you could instantiate the weapon then, but I mean, it's kind of. I see it as being fairly much 6 of 1. Is it because I took the void update function out of something? Oh, fire weapons off, so we're not shooting here. We're shooting in the other script. I left it in here just in case the fire script didn't work. Like I said in a previous video, I don't like to delete stuff I'm not using until I know if the new stuff I'm using works or not. So this is how we were shooting, and it was all just on the character controller player. I decided to create a player fire script and try and get the firing to work through that. And until I know that this works, I'm just commenting out everything in that script and hoping for the best. But as soon as that works, I'll start deleting all the stuff out of the character controller player. So we need to just check the bool. Check the bool. The bool is here. Has weapon. It is ticked to true. When I start, just keep an eye on this when I start. Yep, that's what I was saying. I know, right? Oh, so in sync. It's almost like we're the same person. It's crazy. It's set as true when he started. That should not be. Boo. Boo earns. Why the fuck did that happen? It's the problem with changing your scripts. I mean, we saw in previous videos that I had a firing mechanic working. That was just instantiating a little bullet that I had made in Maya. That was working. Then I did a lot of work with the particle system to get a laser thing to work. And then while doing that, I changed the code. But it was shooting the laser earlier, so... And I didn't have this issue with the starting with the weapon. No, it doesn't have the weapon this time. When he started, so why he had it the last time, I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna test this again. Run, dickhead, run! And then he'd pick up a weapon. His bool hasn't changed to true. But I'm going to do it now anyway, just so I can test the actual shooting script. So I'm going to left click. Nothing's happening. Now I know that that's because I deleted the update function, and I'm never calling the fire effect from here. Also, that's the issue. I'll pause this here for a second. I went through the scripts and I added in this character controller player. I want to call it a variable. I was saying I had to drag the script in to reference the bool and to affect it. So while I've put in this script that if character controller player dot has weapon is true, I've never actually dragged the player onto here. So it's saying that you can access that bool from this script and you can change it, but I haven't told it what this script is or where to find it. So that's why the weapon isn't coming on, and the reason he's not shooting is because I deleted the update function. So I'm not calling the fire weapon function ever. So I can left click as much as I want. He's not going to shoot until I fix that problem, which should be any second now. I believe in me. Okay, well, I figured that out. You put them in there, and you can see that it's referencing the script that's on the player variant. So that should fix the issue with the has weapon not changing. And I need to go back into the script. So that has been set. Yeah, I'm just going to make sure that they've all been set. Especially since I changed a couple of the scripts. So anything that had those scripts on it, I need to make sure I've now dragged and dropped them on. So I know I changed the level controller as well, so I should check that too, just in case. We'll just look down, Pause menu's on, and his weapon is still there. And it shouldn't be. So wherever I was setting that to be false at the start, I must have changed it or commented it out or something. Because I spoke in a previous video about having this issue with the health in one of the episodes where we tested the player dying. When he died, it would reload. You'd go to game over screen, and if you clicked reload, it would reload the level, but he'd still have 0 health. So you'd go straight back to the game over screen, click reload, he'd have 0 health. Back to so I had to go in and make sure that I set the health to it's at 100 now, but I set it at and Unity just crashed again. Great. So I had to make sure that the health was set back to full at the start of the level every time it was loaded, and I had to do the same thing because I had this issue before this with this weapon, and I had fixed that. But in messing about with the scripts and changing stuff around, I must have kind of messed that up. So an easy fix if I can find it where it is. But Unity crashed again for the 3rd time in the last hour. So that is where I got pissed off and stopped recording for this time. But we shall see what's in the next one. We're at the particle test script. Yes, the particle test script. The player fire script. That hasn't changed really. It has. Okay. So there's been a bit of a gap between the recording we just finished and this recording here. And in the interim, I have the particle test script I did have in the last one, and that is what, because I have my particle sandbox scene, and I set up just with a capsule firing at a wall. That's how I created the laser particle effect, so that it would hit the wall and explode. And I just had a little test script just so that I could click anywhere on the level. So as long as I was just clicking the mouse button, it would play the particle effect. That test script is important because I figured out that the reason Unity kept crashing the last time was every time I tried to shoot, this script was trying to shoot and this script was trying to shoot, and they were both, it was just like, oh fuck no. So that was an issue that I had. In the player fire, we're starting it out so that the laser effect is false. We put the void update back in so that we can now fire the weapon. If you have the weapon and you are pressing space now, I think I changed this so that this and that wouldn't conflict with each other while I tested this. Once I know this works, then I will just delete that and change this back to left click. Start coroutine. So we've got a coroutine down here, which is the eye enumerator. Instantiate the laser effect, and then wait for the fire rate, which is half a second. We'll see if this works. I've tried so many variations of code to get the weapon to shoot. I can't remember which one actually ended up working. Well, if I'm changing that, then that must work to a point. Because I know I had an issue with the wait for the fire rate thing where it didn't actually wait. It just kept shooting anyway. I think... I don't know, we'll see. We'll get to it. There's no point in me trying to remember what I did to get this stuff to work when we can just wait and get to it and see together. So we're going to try it with the left click. If I don't delete this, I envision Unity crashing again. This particle test script. I'm just waiting. Oh, what am I doing? I'm going to create another C# script. Okay. Destroy, yes, destroy the object, the laser. Because what I don't want is to instantiate a load of laser particle effects, or objects that contain the laser particle effect, and then have them sitting around either in the hierarchy or in the level, even if they can't be seen. So you want to destroy them after a little bit of time. Come on, Visual Studios, there we go. So you can see loads of scripts. Some of these really short. Don't need any of this for this. It's a very simple script. Basically, if it collides with anything, destroy it. Come on, Visual Studios. On collision enter. So if the... I think it's like, it's basically anything. So you got untagged enemy, all that kind of stuff. Or, yeah. Just double checking what I've, yeah, that's untagged. I've got other stuff, just making sure I spelled that right. Yep. And then you'd have enemy. Probably friendly. Not that you'd really want to fire on friendlies, but just in case. Will I add in that? No. So we're not enabling you to shoot friendly people yet. Well, I mean, you could shoot them, but the laser just kind of will go through them, I guess. Destroy game objects. I could also, if I wanted to, put a comma there and then a number, and it will destroy the game object after that amount of time. So I could put in like half a second or a second, or if I wanted it to do something. And who knows? So we got the laser holder. So we're just going to put that script on it, because this is what we're instantiating, and then this has the particle effect in it. So if it hits anything, it destroys the object, which will destroy the particle effect, so the particles will disappear. That might be an issue with the sub-emitter of the little sparkly bits when it collides with stuff. I really wish I could remember. So that's all fine. We've got, see, here we go. Set the weapon to false unawake and the health to 100. So that will solve the other issue I was having with the game starting again with the weapon in hand. Don't delete them, please. I just said that worked. Yeah, put the back. Oh no, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Oh, I put that into the level controller. This controls, so this is setting the health at the start, and the health weapon is false. Okay, so I'm just trying to get the level controller to look after everything. I guess that makes sense. It's a good place to have it. I would wonder what would happen if I set this to a different number to the one on the player. Which one would it actually show? Maybe I'll test it if I still have it on both the scripts. Maybe I won't. So, he still has the fucking gun. Bastard. Come on, you need to catch up. Catch up. Also, what the hell? The camera's... Where's the camera going? Okay. Well, that seemed to fix something. Interesting that he only has the... Okay, so I just manually turned that off to get rid of the weapon. I wonder if I've... Because he doesn't have the player fire script on him. So did I put that on a different object, or did I take it off for a specific reason? Why did I do that? I don't know. So there's enemies, still doing their little patrol. And then we come in here, pick up the weapon. It's still not working. Why? But I set it to work myself. You can see there's a lot of stuff happening there. You can just see at the very edge there. It's loads of laser clone holders. Laser holder clones. Okay, now it's shooting. Still going a little bit off. And if I hold down the mouse button, that's the issue. See, there's no waiting for anything. And they don't seem to be destroying. It could be that those... No, that shouldn't be true. Okay, so if I shoot the walls, it seems to... shoot the wall, some are made. Okay, yeah, no, they don't seem to be disappearing. I really hope I fixed all this. Because I don't want to go back to work and then go, oh, Jesus Christ, none of this is working. Oh, there's an enemy. Oh, no. He's stopped. Oh, I paused it. Okay. Oh, thought Unity had frozen again. So there's loads of these guys. And I don't know pourquoi. He's still going. He's not shooting. He's spinning. He's not shooting. He's spinning. Sure. Interesting. Interesting. Don't know why it didn't destroy them all. Don't. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I mean, it should. I don't know. Just try it again, just to see. Sometimes when Unity is acting up, you tend to just like reassign things and hope for the best. Character enter character trial that has weapon is true, so set that to true. Okay, and then it turns that off, so that should be working. Try debug. I mean, I should already know that it's working because it is turning the gun off when I go in. So why it's not setting that if you collide, destroy the object. Oh, I see. I see. Will that make a difference? Yes, yes, it will. Yes, I see. I was using on collision enter, which means that the actual game object would have had to collide with the things for it to be destroyed. The game object is just being spawned in front of the gun, and the game object never moves. The game object holds the particle system, and the particles fire out. So on particle collision, and on particle collision means that the particles firing out from the object that has that script on it, if they collide with something, then it should destroy it. So that should fix that. Okay, that's good. I'm actually surprised I figured that out so quickly. Go me. That should be set to off at the start. Go to your level controller. Maybe the level controller doesn't do what it's supposed to do. I don't know. Just apply all that back to the prefab, so it's gonna start automatically. But you know what? Will it? Won't it? I don't know. This has the script on it. Should be okay. In theory. Problem is with Unity, theory and practice, they don't always line up. So we're going to test it again. So let's just, here we go. Here we go. 60 frames per second. That's pretty cool. Pick up the gun. He's got the gun. Nice. Shoot. Can I shoot? Shoot. I guess I'm trying to shoot and nothing's happening. I don't even know if anything's spawning here. Oh, it looks like it is, yep. But they're spawning turned off. They're spawning turned off, which means that the particle won't fire. So I'm going to test it. They still don't seem to be destroying themselves. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. So they're starting off with these. These are starting off, each laser holder is starting off inactive, which is not good. I had to set it to active automatically while playing, and that, not good. And shooting when the particles are hitting these things that are untagged, they're not being destroyed, which they should be because they've all got this script on it. Pew pew pew. More problems to solve. Let's get the player laser particle emitter. So this is the actual laser effect itself. And this is the sub-emitter of the little pew-pews that come out when it collides. And then this is just an empty game object that holds them. So I spawn that. Each of these that I spawn will have these. And then when you spawn that, you play that. It's playing awake, so it should shoot. It should shoot. And it does shoot. It's a problem with my code. I'm guessing somewhere in the code I have it said that set this on start, set this to set active to false. So like deactivate this at the start so that you don't have the player, as soon as he picks up a weapon, having all of these being spawned or appearing and shooting. I'm adding the script to everything. Don't think it needs to be on that though, mate. Don't know one way to find out, I guess. Go to... I must have the fire script on something else. We're not using this anymore. That's old. Right, so I don't need that. That was for the old bullet that was made, so we don't need that anymore. All this stuff that I've... well, this chunk is just explaining what happens here. So a lot of this, because I had to comment the script as part of the assignment, so a lot of this commenting is just explaining what the script is doing to show that I understand what I'm doing. Some of it would be stuff I commented out that I no longer, while I was testing, I didn't want to use it. And I just haven't gotten around to deleting it all yet. So I'm sure I did something very important there. Probably just deleted this. Did I? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. Don't hate me. Yeah. So we don't need that because I'm not using that anymore. Will that throw up any errors? Am I trying to call that anywhere? No. Good. So we can safely delete that, save it, and move on. Public particle system, don't need that anymore. Just clean up my code so I don't have all these unnecessary things in it. Everything else seems to be, so you can crouch, you can run, you've got a crouch speed, you've got an unarmed animator and a normal controller. So I might still be using the animator override controller. I can't remember. If you look down here, sometimes you can see, I'm colorblind, I can't actually tell what color these are, but you can see changes are made, and there's supposedly like a little red dot will turn up if there's an error. Not like this, like a little red one, if that's not red, a little red one of them. I don't know. It's a problem with being colorblind. You don't... why do they make everything red and green? Fucking stupid. I think that's discrimination against the colorblind people. Color visual impaired. So, and I actually noticed, if you've been following along with these, you'll notice that the when I click play, it's loading the level a lot faster as well, so that's good. And my frames never dip below 1, which is also good. Famous last words. So he picked it up. Shooting. Am I shooting? Am I trying to shoot? It's spawned some clones it is spawning stuff, you can see. but they are not active. So now they're active. I'm shooting. Doesn't even look. Yes. Shooting a load of them. Doesn't. Now it looks like they're not colliding with anything. And they're not being destroyed. So we're not getting the little spark effect when they. Now, I'd expect that if they were being destroyed, because you'd be destroying the object, you'd be basically be destroying them before the other effect could play. But if they're not being destroyed, why are they not colliding? Set on problem. I love game dev, but sometimes it's so hard. If it's if you collide with untagged, if you collide with an enemy, destroy it. Okay, so I'm just a game object, a parent game object, get component in parent. You can't do that. That's not how you do it. Don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot on YouTube. That's just embarrassing. Public game object, we can assign it in the inspector, and then what we're going to say is destroy the parent. Or are we? I mean, I assumed that would be destroy the parent and maybe put in a little timer after it so that it has time to do the sparkly bit. Parent dot. Oh, I was gonna like try to set it to. Parent dot set active to false. So I'm just turning it off, not destroying it. Okay, well if that works, then destroying it should also work. But also turning it off will have the same effect on the sub emitters. So. Now, this is a good idea. Set it active to true at the start. Because this script is on the actual laser holder object, that means when I instantiate the laser holder object, it will call the start function and set them to active. So they will start active. That will solve the problem of them starting not active, deactivated, whatever the correct term would be. And destroying the parent, I do need to actually assign the parent in the inspector. I would need to find the prefab. This is the level controller. It's got the player variant script. Yep, it's got all that. That's all good. It's all fine. That's fine. Don't worry about that. That's fine. What you need is one of these things. Oh, we're just gonna play it. Okay. I don't think it's gonna work. I'm gonna take bets. Think it's gonna work? I don't. 1.1 frame. So is that 1.2? Nope, now it's 1.2. So pick up the weapon, puts it in his hand, try to shoot. I was so confident that would work. It didn't. It should be spawning them as active. It's not. That's poop. That's what that is. I don't know. What am I doing now? Go to the weapon fire. This has got some stuff. Interesting. Well, we're just trying to straighten that up a little bit. I mean, that's not the issue that we're having, but hey, while we're there, it looks like it's going up too much. I want to just go straight out. I don't know. And yes, I'm very aware that he's not holding the gun. But because I didn't animate it myself, this is the animation I got on Mixamo, the armed animation. So that was obviously set up for a character holding a weapon slightly differently, or a different weapon. Not much I can do about that right now, but I might in the future animate it myself and maybe model my own weapon so that I can line it up better. Not for the deadline of the assignment, but for the future when I continue working on this afterwards. Unassigned reference exception. The variable parent, yes, it's not. I did say I needed to. Oh. It did something. There you go. It did something. If I open the prefab, what are you doing? Oh. Oh. I mean, could that be the problem? That it's colliding with itself? I don't think so, but maybe. And then we need to assign within this. You need to assign. Go down to the script. Still don't think I need the script on it, but then put the parent in here. So what we're saying is, if this collides with something, you're going to destroy the parent, which is this, or turn it off. Is what we have it at the moment. Unity's not liking that. My only worry is that turning it off without having a delay is still going to, cause the submitter to turn off as well. Visual effects are hard. That's the bit I want to get into. I find them interesting and they look cool when they work, but doing them is hard. I don't know if it's the visual effects or the coding that's making it more difficult, but there's something that's fucking not nice. Okay, let's just try and get the screen on so we can see it. There we go. Something's happened to my lights. It's very strange. Don't know what happened there. Maybe it was because I was inside the prefab. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. Oh, I've turned some stuff off. That might have been an issue as well, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's where I never copied the component. So when I was tweaking the direction of the fire point in front of the gun, because I did it while the game was playing, Unity doesn't save that when you stop playing, so I would have had to copy the component values and then paste them in again. And I didn't do that, so because I stupid. So I'm gonna pick up the gun. That's working. Cool. We're gonna shoot. They're still coming up. Initially off. Well, let's just turn them on and test the rest of it. I'm gonna shoot. Oh, it's shooting. It's shooting. Not destroying itself. Not destroying anything. Oh, wait, no, it's only supposed to turn them off. It's not supposed to destroy them. Duh. Well, then I don't know. Is that working? Well, they're all turned off. Okay. So that seems to work to a point. But again, you're not seeing the sparks when they collide because I'm turning it off. Sorry, before I let it do that. So, interesting. Um, I think that in another script, I am setting the laser holder to not be active at the start, and that is why it's still not active. Um, I think uh, I might have it in the player fire script or the character control player script. Um, so I'm going to do destroy laser holder. It's another way to do it. I don't really need to do it this way, but I think I forgot that you could add in a time after this. That you could just put comma and then however long you want it to wait before it destroys it. So what I do is I just create a void to destroy it, and then on the collision I will call this. So on awake. Oh, I don't know if the mic is picking that up, but my computer just really started humming. Calm down, computer. We're almost done. So we're going to invoke this void destroy, destroy laser holder, and then I'm going to put a comma and a time, however long I want it to wait. So it doesn't really matter. So instead of turning it off, I'm just going to destroy it after 2 seconds, which should be long enough for us to see the little sparkly bits. And then we're going to test it. And bring my game view on, and let's just go the right way. There you go. Going, grab the gun, and shoot. They're still shooting as starting out as inactive. Oh wait, no. Okay, no, they're not. So then you can see. I wonder where those two are. We're getting the sparkles, and then it's destroying the clones. Pew pew. There seems to be a delay between when I press the button and when the effect happens, which is quite annoying. And I still haven't got that fire rate sorted. It doesn't seem to be taking the fire rate into account, so it's just a constant stream of laser holder clones shooting things. But will the shooting the enemies, will it still work? Does it kill them? I don't know. It doesn't seem to kill the enemy yet, but it does hit him. And the enemies aren't shooting at me anymore, so that I must have changed that. And he's still shooting off in a bit of a wonky direction. But he shoots, the particle collides, and sparkles. It's kind of cool. I don't know what the pixelation is around the particle effect that we saw there. Seems quite strange. Still haven't fixed that bounciness on the left. I do that eventually. So weapon pickup. Character control player. As weapons false, that's fine. As weapon is true, so there's nothing there. What would we be looking for? A particle. We're looking for weapon dots. No, not that. Weapon dots that active. We need that, yeah. We're looking for particles. The laser holder thing. It's probably in player fire, I would imagine. Vote. Okay. I'm trying to sort out the lift. Yeah, I know we're going a little bit over. There's only 7 minutes left in this video, so we're just gonna, I hope you don't mind, go a little over the hour long. Because I don't see any point stopping a video when there's only 7 minutes left, stopping this when there's only 7 minutes left, and then coming back and doing 7 minutes of this and then jumping on to the next thing. We might as well just finish this off. I might be able to scrub through bits of it to speed that up as well. So I'm trying to stop the bounciness on the lip. So I'm just trying to get some gravity and implement the gravity. So I mean, this is terrible. It doesn't work. This is the thing. Like, I can, spoiler alert. It doesn't work. This particular thing using gravity doesn't work. I figure it out eventually, I think. But is grounded. It's because I have a character controller on it, which should have gravity in it automatically. I'm just trying to figure out how to access it with this. So you can only get the velocity, you can't set the velocity. So what do I try to do? Let's just speed this up a little bit. Is equal to gravity. Does dot y. Does that work? No, it doesn't, because you cannot set it, you can only get it. What else do I try? My controller dot transform dot position dot y is equal to gravity. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Because gravity is a flow. Transform dot y is equal to gravity. The world space position of the transform. Vector 3 dot position. Who knows? I tried many things. Game object dot transform position dot y. No, still getting kind of modified the return value of transform position because it is not a variable. So I need to create a variable for that, like a vector 3 or. So I'm just going to just create a variable, var g. For gravity is equal to transform dot position dot y, semicolon, and then g is equal to gravity. I don't know. I don't know. G is equal to no. Minus gravity. Transform position by minus gravity. That's minus minus. So that's going to be a plus. Dingus. I think it's safe to say I don't figure this out in this video. Just give up. Just give up. It's me jumping from one thing to the other. I was trying to get the laser to work, and then I noticed the bounciness, and I was like, oh, I need to fix that. I'll fix that. Try to stick to one thing at a time and get it working properly. Unless you need a break from something, because otherwise, like, maybe I did need a break from the laser effect. Although I suppose I did get it working kind of well. I kind of got it working, so I guess that's fine. See, I don't have a jump mechanic in it yet, and I may put a jump mechanic in it. So I feel like I'm just testing everything again. If I shoot, will it shoot? Laser holder. Still turning, so I haven't really fixed it. I'm still getting that issue. And then we can pew pew. This looks kind of cool. Some pew pewing. And Unity not crashing or freezing on me. Although I'm a little bit worried about that, because I don't know what that is. That's, yeah, it's working. Yeah, see, that kind of thing. That's what I mean there. Where is it, like this pixelation-y darkness? I don't know what's causing that. I don't know if that's going to be there when I do the build. I hope not, because I haven't tested it out yet, so we shall see, I guess. But that, as they say, is that. That's where we'll leave it off. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. Consider sharing this with anyone who you think might be interested in seeing this kind of stuff. Any suggestions or comments, leave them down below. And consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell icon thingy, just so that you can keep up to date with all the stuff that I'm doing. So thanks very much, guys, and I will see you all next time.